and welcome to Gaia Blooming GPS Part 2. So, we recorded yesterday, we recorded all through the week and all the shifts, and then for some reason, Google only picked up the last 8 minutes of it. So, Nicole and I are here to pull cards for the new moon in Scorpio happening tomorrow, and then also for Mars shifting into Libra. So, let's just dive right in. I had to pick a whole new set of cards, and I was like, oh, I love the cards I had before, and I don't remember what they were. So here we go with a whole new set. Let me start with these two out of the Osho. I pulled patience and flowering. And I think this is so perfect with the new moon energy, because new moon energy is about planting seeds. And I love this because, you know, the patience card, it connects you to the womb. It connects you to your sacral chakra, which is such a creative place. I feel like when we plant our seeds, like that's where we're ultimately planting. Like some of us think we're like sending out to the universe, and we might be. But this card is reminding us, like, here's where it's coming from, and this is what you bloom into. But with that, I also pulled the cards morality and sorrow. And I think it's the same thing. The womb, especially for women, it is such an emotional place. It is where we keep those shoulds and shouldn'ts, those moralities, those things that tie us up, that keep us from blooming, really. It's where we keep those old sorrows, those shames, the guilt, the things that weigh on us. So it's time to like till your soil in your sacral chakra. Shift that up so you have room to plant those seeds, to allow, you know, this energy to come into fruition. And I do want to mention, along with the morality card, especially, the Sabian symbol for this at 19 degrees is like a parrot, basically parrots all the conversations that it's heard. It's parroting, repeating these things. So much of what we've heard, this is good, that is bad, this is moral, that's not moral, it's being repeated and held in that area. So if you can just look at some of what you're repeating when you do things, like, oh, I shouldn't eat that cookie, that's bad for me. It's time to release that and really trust your process. Trust if your body's like, I want a cookie, give it a cookie. It doesn't mean overindulge. It means trust yourself. Let go of what everybody else should and shouldn't on you and do what's right for you. Listen to your own wisdom. And from the goddesses, I pulled be strong. Know your strength. Know yourself. Your wisdom will not be like anybody else's wisdom. I could tell you something, you know, astrologically from this place of all this knowledge of astro, but if it doesn't resonate in your womb with yourself, then don't use it at this time. Use what's right for you. Listen to your guides. They are talking. It's so loud with all of this water energy that we have. We're in a very intuitive time. Listen to your guides. Trust yourself. Tune out the outside peanut gallery and trust yourself. And meanwhile, release some of those things you've been holding on to for so long. You know, the other thing that I wanted to mention, 19 degrees is 1 and 9, which adds up to 10. And that's, I always say with that, it's a degree of value. It's a degree of knowing your value. And part of that is knowing the value in your voice, your higher wisdom. So value it. Take that value aspect of this new moon, just put a little value in with all that soil that you're tilling. Nicole?
Holy moly, moly, moly. Okay, so what were you just talking about? There's a lot of water. There's a lot of emotions. There's masterness in that. Look at this, Mimi. It's water, 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 master, right? So, okay, let's talk about this, shall we? So we have a Scorpio new moon, and this is what I like to say around new moons. So today, this is all a buildup, and I feel like as soon as the moon goes into the same sign, we're already in new moon energy. So you have to be very conscious about what's coming up and what's presenting itself. So old wounding, and this is something I said in the daily guidance today, is like there's old triggers, old wounds, some opportunities coming up to present an old situation in a different way to you. And because of this, you are able, like Mimi said, to till your soil, or notice how much the soil has already been tilled and see what you're producing now. Because even if a situation is coming up for you to deal with it, you are not the person you were 5 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, a month ago. You're not the same person. So if an old person's coming back in, you have the opportunity now to show up differently for yourself. And this is what I'm getting. So I have the going with the flow card, the master in the middle, and then the healing card. And underneath everything is harmony. So this is what I'm getting. Trust your feelings. The going with the flow right now, what it's telling me is the emotions hold the key to your freedom. And you might have to be, it reminds me of this story in this book, Illusions. And it's about this, they cling to the bottom of the ocean. And one decides to let go. And it gets spun into, a little bit of kind of craziness for a minute, and then they floats up to the surface. And all the other people who are clinging to the rocks go, ooh, it's a savior. It's a savior. And he's like, no, I'm just like you. Let go. And they're going, nope, we can't. And they keep telling the story of the savior. Yes, you might get thrown into the rocks when you let go. And things might get a little tumultuous. Yeah. So yeah, it might get a little crazy because you're letting go and you're trusting something bigger than you to carry you along this way. In this, it might be scary because you don't know what's going to happen and you're in the unknown for so long. But what is happening is you are being guided by higher powers, higher masters, by your higher self. I've been seeing a lot with this card, Ascended Masters, and I really do feel like we're being helped. You can think I'm being woo-woo, but I know for a fact that I'm being helped at this moment by benevolent beings who are, helping me on my path. Well, believe in them. Stop thinking they're woo-woo and ask for help. You're not silly if you pray. Pray your butt off, because at the end of the day, what else are you going to do? Worry about it? Worrying's not doing crap. Pray about it, because then you're connecting to something bigger than you. And then the healing will occur. And eventually you will, rise above the turmoil and be in harmony again. But you got to follow the emotions, because there's deep healing that wants to come through for you in this Scorpio. And all you have to do, honestly, is show up. Show up differently. Don't get in your victim. Show up differently. Because at the end of the day, you can't control how other people will react. You can't control how other people will act. You can't control their behavior, but you can control the way you react to their behavior. Even if you get cheated on, how are you going to show up for yourself? And know the discernment of, when it's time to forgive and when it's time to let go.
That was perfect timing. Oh.
Ding! Somebody's going to have a ding aha moment. Okay, so this is a lot. So I'm going to just put it all into something. It's up, gifted, birthing divinity. So it's everything that I just said. You're raising your vibration. You have to connect to your own divinity. And you also have to connect to, you can call your ascended masters your higher self. It's all you anyway. Whatever. If you need to make them outside of you, if you have to make it you, if you get in your ego about it, then that's a problem. But know that you are part of that divinity. Know that you're gifted. And you do have things that you do need to share, and that there are gifts that you're bringing to the world. And know this, you're birthing yourself. So if you're going through turmoil, guess what? Birth, I've done it. Birth isn't easy. It's hard work. That's why it's called labor. You're in labor. So if you're going through some self-birthing pain, I'm not surprised. But don't give up. You can't just go, nope, the birthing process, I'm going to just stop doing it. The baby's got to come out so you can go get a C-section and sit in the bed for 6 weeks to heal. Or continue laboring yourself and birth yourself. I know that sounds weird, but that's the truth of it. You're birthing yourself. Scorpio energy, people.
It's rebirth. I mean, it's totally, I love it. It's totally it. And I love the gifted, knowing your gifts. That's the value essence that we were talking about too. Like, it's so perfect. So love that. All right. So then on Thursday, we have Mars shifting into Libra. Mars in Libra is an interesting placement. In traditional astrology, Mars is not that comfortable in Libra because it's like kind of opposite energy. But I kind of don't really work that way with astro. I feel like any planet can work with any energy. I think that's our human projections that we put onto it. So Mars in Libra, where I think it's interesting is Mars is this action, passion, like it's ready to go. Whereas like, you know, Venus in Libra is like, I will choose the harmony. Mars in Libra is like, I'm going to choose my desire. I'm going to choose to value my desire. And the first card that I pulled, I love, because I know that I pulled this the other day when we did this. I pulled the transformation card. And I think why this came again is because we have to transform that harmony vibration. I said this just the other day, that vibration that will do anything to keep the peace. Instead, it's like, how can I find the peace, the lovers within me? How can I find that harmony within myself? The harmony card Nicole pulled for
Oh, we lost sound. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mimi? I'm guessing she can't hear me. They can't hear you.
and I'm not seeing me.
There you go. I got you.
There I am, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh, that's,
Technology these days. I wonder if anybody can hear me. Can I hear you now?
can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It says it's still broadcasting, and so I hope that we're still here. Technology is being so fun. You can hear me. Maybe you need to go back out and come back in, and hopefully I'll hear you. But I'm going to keep going with my cards because. So harmony. I love that we're talking about harmony, and Mars is like, no harmony right here. Anyways, this transformation. We have to transform this vibration and be willing. Hi.
Hi. No?
I still can't hear you.
Oh, shit.
I know. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of like tempted to leave it myself and then come back because I don't know if anybody who's watching can hear us, and I don't know if they can tell us because we have a few viewers right now. Sorry. This is
Comment on
Hangouts these days.
You can hear us.
I don't know what you're saying. I see you mouthing words. Anyways, I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's stop this broadcast here, and we will do another one and add it in for Mars and Libra. So we're ending this, and I'll attach it all in together. So I'll see you in a minute, Nicole, and I'll see everybody else with these cards in just a minute. Hello for part 3. Technology has been so interesting, but we are committed to this. Nicole and I are here, and now we're going to talk about Mars into Libra. So here we go. I pulled this card the other day in the broadcast, and again, and hopefully it's going to let me this time. Transformation.
No, the internet does not want you to transform. It's over.
Like, no. We are putting our desires into action. We are putting our desire for pleasure into action. You know, Libra is an interesting placement for Mars because it's in its opposite sign. But I think this is a chance to transform this vibration into one that's working for you. Mars. I think the highest vibration of Mars is like passion and action. I think the other side of Mars is when anger comes through, when you're not able to pursue your passion, when you're not able to take action on what you feel strongly about, the causes that you feel strongly about. So during this time of Mars and Libra, it's time to transform that. Those places where you've held yourself back over areas of wanting harmony, and instead choose to follow your heart and follow that passion and action. And in that, I pulled some interesting cards with this. I pulled fighting. I feel like we do this. I feel like we fight our passions. I feel like we fight our desires. Like in the Buddhist tradition, they're like, desire is your cause of suffering. And it's an interesting theory, and I feel like our focus on our lack of attaining our desires is kind of like the cause of suffering when we're focused on that lack. But I feel like when we're actually moving towards and pursuing what feels good for us, what feels passionate, what makes us feel alive, that's when we're in momentum in our life. And that's when we come alive and we come into our being. I feel like we're given desires to fulfill, to pull us where we want to go. So we're transforming that thing. We're letting go of that old belief of that. And we're tuning into the lover vibration within us. And this may be, about somebody outside of ourselves that we love, or this might be about fulfilling our own desires, taking that energy of the masculine, willing to take action, taking that energy of the feminine, the Venus action that's also in Libra, and the creativity, and leading us on that path of transformation into where we want to go. So with this, I pulled some other interesting cards too. I pulled laziness and I pulled aloneness. I think you need to take some downtime in this to recognize, write down, what do I desire? What do I crave? We get so caught up in like, what do I have to do that sometimes we forget those desires, that it's okay to have those desires and it's okay to pursue them. So take a little quiet time, take a little aloneness, get clear in your head, get clear in your heart, get clear in your being, so that you can take the appropriate action into this and stop fighting what it is you desire. And along with that, from the goddesses, I pulled Yemenia, golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. Take action on your passion. Allow yourself to feel good. And I remember we talked about with this the other day, and I hope you go there again. You talked about sensuality. Remember with the other day? And making things your lover, enjoying the pleasure. And that is so the Libra energy, pleasure and beauty. So if Nicole brings that up, then I'll tell my story again. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Well, let's see what comes out, because I didn't pull that card again, but man, I went into an impassioned speech about that and I really liked it.
So impassioned. It was so great.
Yeah, and I really remember liking what I said and liking what you said during this. So it's like really sad that I don't remember exactly what I said.
Well, I remember what I said. So maybe if I'll say what I said, it'll take you back into what you said.
Yeah, and I'm going to do this, and then we're going to see if it comes out. If not, then you can kind of respark it. But I'll pull out the sexuality card and see if it re-inspires me, because I never know what's going to happen. Okay, so this is what I'm getting for. Hold on, let me find that sexual. Okay, this is what I'm getting for Mars and Libra this time, and I love what Mimi says about how in astrology they say that it's Mars doesn't like being in Libra, but I think that's kind of BS, to be honest with you too, because it's an opposite sign, because Aries and Libra, aren't they like?
Yeah, they're opposite. They hold.
I don't think they don't like each other. I think that they hold the other side of the coin, right? It's like we are one and we are one. So what Mars says is in that Aries energy is like, I am one. I am an individual, and I have this body, and I have my own perspective and my point of view. And what Libra is telling us is, yeah, but you're one, but we're also one. We're connected, and we have relationships that we have to learn from each other. And yes, we are one. We are mirrors for each other. And so what I see with Mars and Libra, here's what comes up. So we got that morality card, and I have the projection card. So what happens, what's going to happen for you in this energy is be careful of projections and realizing that whatever that other person is mirroring to you, the good or the bad and the ugly, that something is being triggered within you. And so the good stuff you can make. I've done this in my life where I've projected all this good stuff on somebody else, but then when I started seeing who they really were, I was so disappointed in them. It was me. I put my story on them, made them perfect. And then I started seeing all this crap unravel and go, oh, they're just human. And I think that's what Mars wants to say is like, be honest with how you're moving forward in your relationships, and that Lover's card. And it's like, that Lover's card is a very beautiful card, because what it tells you is that there's three aspects to love: sexuality, which we'll go there, and compassion is the highest. So sexuality is the lowest, and compassion is the highest, which is also unconditional love. And then love is in the middle. And that's what kind of links both sexuality and compassion together, making you a full spectrum relationship. So when you see those projections, how can you get into compassion? Because that's where the love is, right? So first is letting go. So we have to let go of what we think we know. We have to let go of hurt or disappointment of the other. We have to be more receptive. And this is also sexual. I mean, she's naked, and this is the divine feminine. This is sexuality. And then the Thunderbolt card. That's that Mars energy. You know, it's like there's that masculine thunderbolt into receptivity. Boom. You know, and this is sexuality to me. So maybe more sensual or sexual in your relationships with this Mars energy in this Libra sensuality type of thing. And so what I got for these is, and I already did an impassioned speech, which I think did not erase on the first one. So this is the commitment card. Shh. You might see some uglier stuff in your relationship, but what commitments did you make? Did you make them when everything was happy and everything? I can commit to them here, but or did they commit to you when you were showing all your good rosy stuff? But when the other stuff comes out, what are you committed to? You committed to the work, you committed to yourself, you committed to your heart, you committed to love, committed to God. But you got to think about what you're committing to. You're not committing, when you make a commitment to come on this planet, you did not just commit to the rainbows and butterflies. There's a lot of stuff going down on this planet right now that isn't pretty. And you committed to that part of life too. And so you can be a light chaser and think that everything is going to be fine, which in a certain way always turns out okay. But you have to go through the hard stuff too. That's the stuff. I was just talking about this with shamanism. The word shaman means the wounded healer. And the only reason why they can heal and help other people is because they had to go through their wounding and navigate all of that to help other people navigate their wounding. And wounding and all of this other stuff, you know, wars, it's all part of this third dimension that we have to navigate and that you committed to. So if you're committing to your partner, they have a war inside, you have a war inside, so commit to your peace. But you have to go through the battlefield. And then let's talk about the sexuality card. And this kind of coincides with what I just said. It's like you can make love to the great stuff, but why don't you just make love to your life? Make love to everything. Make love to the scary stuff. I know that sounds weird, but it's like, Yeah, but if you're impassioned by your life and impassioned by everything that happens and you accept it for what it is, even if it scares the crap out of you, you transform, because sexuality and that energy is transforming. Sexuality turns two little things into a life, into creation. So use your sexual energy to transform, make love to all the things in your life and transform them into life again.
I love it.
All that death energy, transform it into something you want to create with. You have that ability. You're a creator. So you can own it or you can be victim to it. That's your choice. You can be victim to every situation that happens in your life. Oh my God, there's someone else that's trying to bring me down. Or you can come at it and make love to it and go, you don't have to make love to everybody in your life, but it's like, make love to that situation. Where can you make love? You know what I mean? Not just sex, but make love to that, what is showing up for you. Make it love. It's all love. Make it love instead of fear or disharmony.
I love that. So what we talked about the other day with the sensuality was so funny because she was like, enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. And, like just whatever comes, like as you're eating, make love to it. And I laughed and told the story how I literally the other night had gotten like amazing chocolate, like amazing salted caramel, dark chocolate. And I was like, you are my lover tonight to the chocolate. You have that opportunity. And it's one of those things. There's that passion. There's that Mars energy. And I feel like everything's vibrational. So as you like make love to your chocolate, being like, you are my lover. Thank you for existing. I love you. You bring that energy in. You carry that energy in. I feel like we all are primal beings that have this desire to have that kind of passion. And so if you feel like that passion is missing in your life for whatever reason, there is always chocolate. And that chocolate just segues into more passion, being like, oh, she likes passion. Let's like start feeding in. So we talked a little bit about that.
And I totally agree. And I love this whole thing around, not just the sexual word, make love, but make love, not war. Right. And so we're having, yes, there is wars out physically, externally, but the one that you have not control over, but you have responsibility for is the war that's going in here. So you get to choose if you're making love or war within yourself. What are you, like what Mimi had, that fighting card? What are you fighting against in there?
Yeah.
What do you like totally reject? What are you fighting against? And it's not good versus evil. I just saw Don Miguel and he was talking about this. It's like, it's not good versus evil. It's truth versus lies. And your lies are your belief systems. So if you're fighting against something, it's probably because you have a belief structure or system that doesn't work anymore. Because the truth is, we're connected. The truth is, you're alive. The truth is, you will go through a death process. And the truth is, there's part of you that never does die. So what is the truth? You have your truths. And the reason why we fight each other is because my truth is different from your truth because of the way that we have different perspectives of things. I'm 4'11". One of my best friends is 6'3". We're going to have a very different perspective of the world, literally. He's a man. I'm a woman. He was heavier when he was younger, and I've always been waif thin. We're going to have very different perspectives of the world, literally. Doesn't mean I'm right and he's wrong, and vice versa. But there is some universal truths that you have to connect to, that master energy, that you got to connect to, that doesn't change. There's truth. And you have the ability to make love in your life and love the things that happen and love the opportunities that you have, even if they're hard, there's still opportunities, or you can fight with them.
Yeah. You know what I love? I love what Abraham says. Abraham talks about like the contrast, those hard things in our life, the contrast. And we need that to like kind of experience, oh, I don't want that. You know, it helps us go into our desires, what we do want. It's all working for us. I fully believe, even in the hard times, I believe in a helpful universe. I am so pronoia that I believe that everything is always working out for us. Everything's helping us on our path. Make love to it. Love what shows up. I think Rumi always says that. Love whatever shows up.
You know, that's exactly how, I mean, that Scorpio energy kind of feeds into that. It's like, you know, even if it's dark and misunderstood, doesn't necessarily mean that it's like trying to destroy you.
Right.
You can let it destroy you, or you can, you know,
Let it transform you.
transform you. Exactly. And, you know, it's one of those things of like, look, how can you think that you're not being supported when you are on a floating rock in the sky? You're on a floating rock in the sky, orbiting around a big light source that just happens to be protected by some crazy magnetic field. So the rays of light that light source is bursting out at you isn't frying you at every moment. Like, you don't think that you're being supported? Let's rethink that. That's all much illusion, because I mean, the earth is supporting us. I mean, you are on a floating friggin' rock in space. And you don't think that your life can't be completely taken care of? We just make it harder on ourselves, to be honest with you. If you're in the flow of your divine nature, just like the earth doesn't think about what it has to do, it just makes that magnetic field, but we're making it funky on here because we're out of alignment. So get yourself back in alignment. That's all.
That is, find that balance. Libra. I love it. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to now segue, after we get off this, our cards that we pulled the other day. We finished off with Moon and Capricorn. So I'm going to put that together on this. And after that, we have our whole spiel where you can check us out. So I'm going to go do that. And hopefully next week, our GPS will not have to come in 3 different segments. Technology will support us just the way the earth does.
Holy moly. I can't believe that we have 3 different, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So thanks for watching, and keep watching if you want to hear all the impassioned energy that we talk about Moon in Capricorn. Action, like I'm going to do this, and the Moon in Capricorn is going to be, squaring these energies of Mars in Libra, Venus in Libra, and connecting with Pluto. So I pulled very interesting cards. I pulled Thunderbolt and Breakthrough. So this is like Pluto, and this is like Uranus. So we've got those energies handled. We are breaking through ourselves, and there is some shakeup that comes. But on the other side of things, I also pulled playfulness, awareness, and celebration. They're all upright. Like, this is also coming at the same time. So if you go through a momentary, you're going to go through the breakthrough. This is happening with this yod, this Uranus yod that's, ongoing, that we're working with, the finger of God, the finger of fate, being like, who are you? You are this. We're breaking through. And shake up, change is happening because of it. The stuff that falls away, look at it. It's like it's burning up. It's stuff that's not useful. The things that are going away, let them fall away so that you can be in this energy, that you can decide, yes, I want to celebrate my life. Yes, I want to cultivate awareness. And yes, I want fun. I want playfulness. And from the goddesses, I pulled Ani, leap of faith. Take a risk. Put your heart's desire into action. And so that's the thing. Put into action this breakthrough version of you. Let the pieces fall where they may. It's going to be okay. Everything will balance out. People who belong in your life will be in your life. The things that belong in your life will be in your life. You can't lose what's, not yours. Am I saying this right? That's not right. Like, you can't lose what's not yours. So, or you can't lose what's yours, I guess. So you won't, I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm saying. I'm having a Mercury moment. But this is ultimately what I think we all want. We want to celebrate. We want to feel good. We want to have awareness. You gotta be willing to take those sometimes uncomfortable steps of change. Make that decision that is right for you. All of this energy this week seems to be leading towards you making these decisions that feel good for you and breaking away from what doesn't.
Yeah, I think you're going to be forced into letting go of something. Like, even though that you're resisting it, I think you're going to have to let it go. I think gravity is just going to take over, just kind of like that thunderbolt and the breakthrough card, because I have the rebirth. It's like you're going to have a death rebirth, and then the possibilities will open up. But it's like you have to get back into this innocent state of like what you really want. Like, it's not what you think you want, it's what your heart is trying to guide you to do. I mean, your inner child, that's to me the inner child card. And the inner child's going, this is what I've always wanted. And I'm going to keep going at you until you just do it. And it's like, it's always been there. It's like, Dorothy, you've always had the ruby slippers. It's like, but did you choose to click them together? Because she was, even looking at that story, it's like she wanted to run away from home. And at the end, she realized she wanted what she was running away from all along. And all she wanted to do is go home. So go home. Go home. I have a lighter. It's like, follow the spark. Follow your own spark. I've had this in my hand. I've had the ruby slipper in my hand, right? Follow your own light. Follow your own divine spark. This has been lit the entire time. Have you been looking at it? So it's like, go home. Go to your heart. Go home. And the other ones are take flight and then sexuality. So, you're going to have to reawaken, I think, respark your sexual desire and allowing that to be on the forefront. Because I think some of it is, I think what you're maybe not wanting to do is maybe getting into another sexual relationship or allowing yourself to honor that sexual divine nature. And that also is what Mimi was saying with passion. Sexuality is also triggered by the spark of your passion. So that's also in your heart. Your heart is your passion. What are you going to illuminate? What are you going to spark? What are you going to go for? What are you committed to? What are you committed to? What are you committed to? Commit yourself to your passion, to your heart, to your spark, to your light, to God. Commit yourself to God. And then listen. And take steps. That's it. Commit yourself to God. That's it. I'm done.
I think that's a great ending note. All right. So check us out. We're all over the place. Coaching with Nikki, Nicole Oman on Facebook, Gaia Blooming on Facebook. I'm loving doing my custom birth chart paintings. Email me for info about that. Book a reading with Nicole, book some coaching with Nicole. Do you have your special still going?
Well, so I'm changing it actually today. I'm putting out my newsletter, I think tomorrow. I got a little busy and I got sidetracked. But my new one is for the holidays. My coaching, which is even more expensive, $175 to $200. I'm actually making that $100 for Thanksgiving area. So all of this, because I know a lot of you are going home. It's hard to navigate. They bring up a lot of stuff. You want them to support you, but really they can't. So if you need a little extra support and need someone to like have your back, even vent or dump, but I could also help you navigate them a little better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a soul family support. I will be your soul family and take that and allow yourself to get the support you need to go into those scary places with your family. So that's my special in November. Also, I'm going to put it out there. So I'm going to do 2 classes in January. Doing 2. One is I'm doing an artist way. So if you're feeling like one of your New Year's resolutions, if you want to create more, get yourself out of your creative blocks and go back into that flow, this is a really good time to do that. So it's a 12-week course. I'm also doing my very own class that I've made up, and it's 6 weeks. And this is about self-navigation. A lot of people ask me, how do I get more in contact with my higher guidance system? How do I listen to my inner voice? How do I do all of that? This is a 6-week course that is going to be very connected into talking to your guides, to listen to yourself, help you navigate yourself. So if you want, it's not just psychic development. This is about your guidance system. This is how you guide your life and how you listen to your guides, your guardians, ascended masters, angels, higher self, whatever you want to call it, to navigate you through your life easier.
Sounds awesome.
And we got to clear up some interference crap, the mind, and even other things, you know, that are kind of coming in to try to screw up your radio signal. This is to clean your radio signal and get you to give your own self-guidance.
Awesome. That sounds great. All right. So check us out. Find us on Facebook. Find us on YouTube. Find us our website, GaiaBlooming.com, NicoleOman.com. Come check us out and have a cat sneezing in the background, like a lot. She's like, do it, do it, do it. Have a beautiful week and have a beautiful new moon. And, you know, you can always book a reading for those new moons for extra guidance, extra help. It can be really helpful in planting your seeds. So anyways, have a beautiful week and we'll see you next week. Namaste.
Namaste.